Hi, today we are going to make easy homemade macaroni and cheese. So this is what the finished product is going to look like. One of them you'll see that I'm going to make and put breadcrumbs on the top, and the other one just with cheese. So these are all of the ingredients that you will need. You're going to need milk, your choice, whatever kind of milk you want to use. Breadcrumbs if you do so choose, elbow macaroni, or any other kind of pasta. And I used a 1 pound box. You're gonna need at least 2 cups of cheese. I use a little more than that, whatever your favorite cheese is. I'm gonna use cheddar and Monterey Jack and a little bit of Parmesan. You're also gonna need some non-stick cooking spray for your pan. And then to make the roux, which is going to be the cheese sauce, you're going to need flour and butter as well. So my name is Gabby. I hope that you will enjoy the video and like it, follow me, subscribe. That would be fantastic. Hope you have an amazing day, and I hope you enjoy the simply and delicious homemade macaroni and cheese. Hey, today we are going to make easy macaroni and cheese. So easy homemade macaroni and cheese. You know, I think we make it out of a box so many times because we're in a hurry and we think that it takes less time to do it that way. But I'm going to show you how to make macaroni and cheese quickly, and it's way healthier. And you can also use different kinds of cheeses according to what your family likes. So let's get started. We are going to need some cheddar cheese. I chose to use cheddar and Monterey Jack cheeses, and a little Parmesan cheese and elbow macaroni. We're also going to need some flour. I'm going to start with 3 tablespoons of flour and also 3 tablespoons of salted butter. Of course, you could use unsalted butter if you're really trying to watch the sodium intake of your family. And sometimes I do that, especially if I'm making it for myself. Today I'm making it for a friend of mine. We're also going to need some pepper. And you'll need a pot to cook your pasta in, and you're going to want to salt your water. And you will also need a pot, and or like a saucepan, in order to be able to put the butter, the flour in there. And you're also going to use some milk. So the one ingredient I don't have out in front of us is I'm going to use 2 cups of milk. You can use whole milk, it makes it much creamier, or you can use 2% milk, and that's why I say this is can be so much healthier than the kind that you would make in a box, less preservatives, and also you have control of the butter, whether it's salted or not. The same way with the milk, you could use non-fat milk, 2% whole milk. If you want it extra creamy, you can even use a little half and half or a little cream. Okay, so in this saucepan, I'm melting 3 tablespoons of salted butter. And to that, I'm going to go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And this is really how you make a simple roux, if you've heard of people talk about that. So the key is that we want to actually cook this flour and the butter together. If you don't cook it, it's going to really taste like flour. So we want it to have a nice golden brown. So this is just the start of it. Now you're going to cook it for between 1 and 2 minutes. I usually do mine a little closer to 2 minutes because I definitely don't want it to taste like flour. And in this process, say that you used unsalted butter and you want to add a little salt, you would kind of add the salt now. I'm going to go ahead and add the black pepper. My folks really love the pepper in with the macaroni and cheese. I use a whisk, but you could also use a spoon. Okay, so now that I have been cooking the flour and the butter and the pepper together, this is what it looks like now that it's been cooking for about 2 or 3 minutes. And you'll just kind of, it depends on the heat of your oven, but you want to be sure that it's actually cooked as opposed to just being the flour. So that's what that looks like. Now I am gonna slowly stir in, and I have 2 cups of 2% milk here. I'm gonna just slowly add some and stir it in so it all gets combined. And the reason that you use the flour, the 3 tablespoons and the 3 tablespoons of butter, like I said, that's how you make a roux. The 3 tablespoons means that you could add technically 3 cups worth of milk or liquid to it. I always add a little more flour and butter, knowing that then I could use more milk if I wanted to. For this, today for the macaroni and cheese, I'm just gonna use the 2 cups worth of milk. I'm gonna turn my heat up. By the way, I used about a medium heat when I melted the butter and cooked the flour. Now I'm gonna turn it up a little bit, more like medium high, because I want the milk to really warm up before I add the cheese, because I want the cheese to melt really easily in there. Okay, so now my milk is nice and warm. I'm gonna start to add the cheese. So here I have 2 cups worth of the cheddar and the Monterey Jack cheese. So I'm gonna slowly add this and combine it so that it melts. And you're just gonna kind of keep whisking. Again, as I said, you can actually modify this and use any cheese that you wish. I really love cheddar and Monterey Jack cheese. I also absolutely love Parmesan. So I usually add a little bit of both. And you're gonna see how this is already getting thicker. So I'm gonna kind of turn the heat down more to medium now. And I'm not actually going to use all of the cheddar because I'm going to add in some of the Parmesan cheese, but 2 cups should really be just about perfect. Again, you can kind of modify that according to how cheesy your folks like your macaroni and cheese. Mine love it really cheesy. The Parmesan cheese doesn't melt as easily, so it takes a little bit longer to combine, where you saw the cheddar and the Monterey Jack combined super easy. So I'm gonna add some Parmesan. And now all of the cheese is combined, and you can see that it is getting thicker and thicker. While I was doing this, I also cooked the pasta, and you're just gonna cook the pasta according to the directions on the box. I used elbows, but you can certainly use any sort of pasta that you have. The next step will be that I'm gonna actually combine the two together, and because I'm taking this to a friend, I am gonna go ahead and put it in a disposable container. And in that disposable container, I am gonna use some nonstick cooking spray so that it doesn't stick to the sides. Okay, now that I have that pasta all cooked and drained, and I have the cheese sauce, now I'm gonna combine the two together. And I just use this same pot that I cooked the pasta in. Just one less pot to have to clean up. So I'm just gonna combine the pasta and the cream, or the cheese sauce, all together. It's nice and creamy and cheesy. Yum. This is the perfect time to try a little taste. See if you need any more seasoning, any more salt or pepper in there. So I would normally add a little salt and pepper. I have already added the pepper. I don't really know exactly how my friends like it, so I didn't want to overdo the pepper. I love pepper. So I'm going to go ahead and then put it in these takeaway containers so that when they're done with it, they can just toss the container. Okay, so now I have the macaroni and cheese in these takeaway containers. On one of them, I'm gonna go ahead and use some seasoned breadcrumbs on the top. I really like seasoned breadcrumbs on the top. Some folks do, some folks don't. So just make this according to how your folks, of course, like it. I really love the crunchiness that the breadcrumbs add to the top. I also do love it with cheese on top too. So this one, I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle the remaining cheese right on the top. And as I told you, I do love a little Parmesan. So I'm gonna put a little Parmesan on top too. So say that you're gonna go ahead and prep this earlier in the day or even the day before. You can certainly cover them and put them in the refrigerator if you're making this ahead of time. If you're gonna cook it right away, you're gonna cook it in an oven at 350 degrees and probably honestly just about 20 minutes is all it will take, 15 or 20 minutes, just enough for everything to kind of, oh, there's my oven, meld together and get a little crispy on top, either melt the cheese or to kind of brown up and crisp up the breadcrumbs. If you've made it ahead of time and put it in the refrigerator, you're gonna wanna let it come to room temperature first if you can, and then about the 20 to 30 minutes. If you don't have time for it to come to room temperature first, you're gonna put it in the oven, and then I would say cover it up for the first 20 minutes, pull the cover off of the top for the last 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes to go ahead and just brown it up. All right, I hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day.